Alright then, Seraphim17 once again, bringing you the next step in Kratos' journey in my God of War 3 Chaos difficulty video walkthrough. And we're about to enter, as you can see, the door to Olympia. And when you touch this door, you're going to see this all light up. And what this is going to do, it's going to spawn the first real difficult set of normal enemies. And these dudes are the undead legionnaires you've been fighting all across the game. The difference is now they have gold armor on. And what that means is you can no longer grab them and execute them immediately. You have to beat them up before you can grab them. And the best way to handle this fight, because what happens is the longer this fight runs on, a bunch of the dogs spawn and make this a lot more annoying than it should be. And the reason for that is because when you're trying to grab the dogs, because the lock-on's so dog shit, like I mentioned in the last video, you'll grab one of these guys, and if they still have their armor, it's going to full on fuck you up, and you just can't do anything about it because they'll counter you and they're very damaging. But every move they do is blockable, so don't worry about anything along those lines. And if you back up down here, the ones that spawn in that arena where we came from will not follow down here unless you're unlucky. And it's just a case of moving back forward to lure more of them towards you, and then moving back to get them fighting on your terms. And if you do it correctly, you shouldn't have any problems with this section. As you can see, a dog can see me now, so he's going to run over and try and give me some problems. There's only one of the golden soldiers though, so I shouldn't have too much trouble. So just block. When you see the circle, do it to get the extra orbs. If you don't have time, you can kill them the old-fashioned way. But this fight can be challenging if you take it on the wrong way. And every so many enemies you kill is going to make the eyes on the door disappear. And once they've all stopped glowing, it'll open and it'll be the next section, which is another fight. And it's another fight that can be challenging but can also be exploited. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that, so don't worry whatsoever. And right here I'm just doing my standard square triangle to do the Plume of Prometheus. Not sure if they've changed the name from the second game, but it's the most damaging and swiftest move you can do, and it does the lovely stun at the end which bounces people into the air, and you can just keep them all in a state of getting dicked basically. And if anything gets a little bit too close, do the backwards roll and then go straight back into the square triangle. Obviously if it gets a little too hectic, you can double jump and glide over them to get a better vantage point, but just remember you can always hold block and just wait for a good counter to stun a ton of them. So just make your way forward. There's another dog, deal with him. And there's still a couple of the legionnaires that haven't quite figured out how to get round the corner because their behaviour patterns are obviously having trouble with awkward corners. So just fight them as you've been fighting everything else. And just do that shit. But in my last video I was speaking about Killzone 3, and I had to end pretty quickly on my thoughts purely because the video had come to an end. And I was basically saying if the enemies don't die when you shoot at them, like any game should, I won't be playing it, which is why I'm hoping that Killzone 3 is going to have really awesome damage ratios, because the multiplayer seems spot on. But God, Killzone 2, I've just got flashbacks putting a full clip of an inaccurate assault rifle into a dude's face from 5 yards, him not dying, switching to the knife and finishing him off with a knife because I was so pissed off. And that is not a good feeling to have about a game, so I'm hoping, and it pretty much looks like Killzone 3 is fixing all those problems. And it should be really fun. But use the chest there to get your life back. And this is going to be introducing another gameplay mechanic which involves using the harpies as your own little flying devices. And it's nice and simple, it's not difficult to do, you're not going to have any problems with it. So you just have to cross the chasm. Always check if there's anything you want to upgrade and see how close you are to it, because the amount of times I forgot to upgrade things and when I've done it, it's made sections so much easier. But to get his attention, use your bow. The screen will tell you exactly what you do, it's one of the on-screen prompts. So shoot him with your bow and then use the grab move to to get to him, and then you will just direct him where you want to be and then jump off him to get on the cliff. And then the next section is going to introduce doing it between harpies, so jumping harpy to harpy. Bit of double harpy action. But it's nice and simple because this game was designed by competent people, so you shouldn't have any problems. It is good to fall down, as you see, because there is one of the red chests. If you don't know about it, chances are you might fuck this section up, because it's dead simple to make a mistake with the jumping sections thanks to the camera. Luckily enough, I am used to not moving the camera now with the right stick, so I'm not rolling everywhere by accident. Which is a bloody ball ache if you're so used to it in third-person action games. And I've changed weapon by accident. That's the only criticism I've got on this game. You can change your weapons by using the D-pad. I think it's the D-pad. But you can also hold, is it L1 and press X, and you'll do a move that switches from whatever weapon you are to the next one, and it also does an attack. And the logic behind this is to do really fancy combos and, you know, be able to look really badass switching between your weapons and just laying down some damage and just looking awesome while you're doing it. But in the heat of the battle, when you're blocking and things, 'cause I'm pretty sure L1 is block. It's been a while since I've played this game. Like I say, I had to focus on the Dead Space 2 guide as quickly as I could, and I think L1 is block. So when you're going between L1 and like attacking and stuff, you can do it by accident. I think it's L1 and square, not L1 and X, sorry. So the amount of times I changed weapons when I didn't want to was annoying as balls. But there you go, that's another one of the Titans. I'm not too sure which one that big fella is, but you've just seen Helios attack him, and that is the next god that we're going to be killing. So right now there's a gap in front of me. If you don't double jump and glide with the wings of Icarus, you will die. But before you do so, I would implore you to shoot these guys with your bow, because what it'll do is it'll clear this area out for you, and when you jump across you're going to spawn one of the centaur guys. And I think this is the first centaur that's wearing armor, so he's a little bit tougher. But luckily enough, there's an exploit on this section with the camera. Pardon me, excuse me. And what it is the enemies have trouble attacking you from off screen. They will still be able to do it. It's not like Devil May Cry where they literally don't. But in some areas of the game, because of the way the camera works on this and how dynamic it is, it seems to trap them into going into a passive state. Because it's off the screen, it is difficult to attack them, but you can still use it to your advantage. And you're going to see me do it for this next fight, because you're going to be fighting a ton of these dudes with the armor, and you're going to be fighting the centaur at the same time. And because the centaur is here, he's going to upgrade these guys' ability. He's going to give them a leadership. He's going to be a leader to them and give them an upgraded benefit, basically, because he's there. And the closest thing I can compare it to, if anybody's played it, and I hope you have, is Zone of the Enders 2 for the PS2. That is one of my all-time favourite games. It's a brilliant, brilliant game. It's a beautiful game. It's robots. It's cel-shaded smoke from explosions, like something out of Gundam Wing or is it Macross? It's beautiful. It's brilliant. It's got anime cutscenes, and it's just fucking epic. And speaking of, Hideo Kojima has mentioned making a third one. It's definitely on the cards for something to do, and I just can't wait. I would give that guy head to get that game made, because I love it. But anyhow, in that game there were certain enemies that were commanders, basically. They were the captains, and they would level up the guys around them, give them a shield, and also give them moves they wouldn't usually do. And that's what this fella does, because you'll see these guys, you see how he's holding his axe in the air doing a chant and then firing some energy at me? That is a move they only have when they have a leader with them. And the only real contemporary reference I could use is probably Halo. In Halo Reach and Halo ODST, when there's the engineers around and they give the Covenant the shields, it's similar to that. They don't get any new moves, but it's the same principle. So right now, if you stay down in this bottom corner, the centaur won't come for you. And it enables you to kill these dudes. So kill as many as you can, do your normal combos, you can block everything they do. And that chest there, use it if you need it, but save it if you're doing well, obviously. And then to fight the centaur, you can edge your way forward and hit him with your bow. Because there, he's coming a little bit closer now, and he's on screen, so he's probably going to give me problems. That's why you'll see me back up. But this bastard's following me, so I've got to deal with him. Another good spot for this fight is... Oh, do I fuck it up? I don't know what's wrong with my analog, but I fuck that quick time up every time. But as I was saying, the other blind spot for this is over on the left, where that entranceway leads to the next section of this level. If you go up there, the camera will follow you, and none of the enemies will, and it allows you to use a really cheesy spot to attack them. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use it for this fight, because I used it, and I did this fight in it took about 20 minutes, and I wasn't pleased with it, so I actually re-recorded with me being a lot more aggressive, because I thought something like this is going to help as a video walkthrough a little bit better than me standing in a corner for 40 minutes pressing X, or pressing square. But just know, you can use the camera in either the right hand corner or the left hand corner, and it does really pay dividends for you. And when it's just you and him, you can keep doing the square square triangle and hitting him with the stun, but watch him, because he recovers super quick and he can catch you out with that move. Look at that, 3 times I fucked that move up. I don't know, maybe I'm just not used to the PS3 analogs, but yeah, kicking my ass easy he is. So this is the corner. Watch, see how the camera pans with me? Well, if you move towards the opening there, they don't stand a chance. And I'm using the camera now to stop them from pushing forward, but it isn't working because that undead legionnaire's hungry to kill me. But once that's done, you can literally manipulate the camera and just keep shooting the guy with the bow. But as you've seen, somebody's just spawned to the left of me, and I messed it up again. I think I played this entire game messing up that move. I think I eventually nail it, but yeah, I mess it up a lot. And I've just got to the point now where I'm just like, fuck this. So I go into the Rage of Sparta and I finish him off. You don't need to, he's very manageable. Like I say, you can use you can use the opposite corner if he comes into this one and use that exploit to beat him. But he's not too bad. One thing I will say is, if you're not good at killing the Chimera, definitely save your Rage of the Sparta for him, because that fight is probably a little tougher than this, because when he hits you it really hurts, so you have less room for error. But clean that fella up and then progress on and watch. Oh, he's still there, do you see him? He's loving it. But kill him. And just take note when I move over here, because this is the corner I was mentioning. This guy's taking a beating. There we go, he's half dead. See ya. But when you come up here, this is where you want to stand if you're having troubles, because nothing will follow you and you can keep shooting them with your bow. And you come up here, and if you grab these civilians, they will give you life. It's not a lot of life, but it's enough. And this is the section from the demo, so if you've played that you'll know what's coming. And this next section is probably the best use of foreground I've ever seen in a game. It's literally like interactive pulling focus. I thought it was brilliant. And a basic breakdown of what they do is because... Oh shit, end of video. I'll tell you next time. Thank you guys for watching, and you take care now.